It must be time for that Fasig-Tipton yearling sales. Indeed, the Fasig-Tipton Festival of Racing. What a weekend here to have the Festival of Racing at Saratoga Racecourse. Second biggest weekend of the entire summer. That historically has been the case. The 88th running of the Whitney Invitational. And what an 11 race extravaganza we had. The crowd barely filing out. I would say around 40,000 would be my guesstimate in attendance today. Just a historically great day at Saratoga. It's the MIG, Richard Migliore, and Jason Blewitt, and I guess you have an attire fitting of Whitney Day, correct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm part of the celebration. I love Whitney Day, as did the big crowd here. Everybody was into it, and they were treated to some of the greatest racing we've seen. Actually, I'm going to head to my second job as a maitre d' over at Ciro's when we're done. No, actually, I got to head over to the Jockey Club dinner.
I was going to say, bring me a Diet Coke and a cheeseburger.
I'd bring anything for you.
All right, you're a good man. All right, so place was mobbed today. They were betting with both fists. We had 11 races, the 2 grade ones. We'll get you up to speed regarding everything Whitney Day. But first, a first-ever trip to Saratoga Racecourse for Gay Waterhouse. She's world-renowned. She's done it all. She's in the Australian Racing Hall of Fame, and the MIG talked to her earlier today. Let's see what they talked about.
Gay Waterhouse, world-renowned horse trainer and one of the greatest trainers in the world. What brings you to Saratoga?
My husband. He said, you've got to come to Saratoga. We've been to America so many times, Richard. We've never been to this wonderful meeting. And what idiots and fools we are not to have come. It is so special, so special.
Are you going to have an opportunity to get over to the sales pavilion at all and look at any young horses?
We did, and I was just talking to a young man who's got a Fastnet Rock in the, of course, champion sire in Australia, and he asked me about it. I just happened to have seen it this morning, and I said, it's very typical of the sire. You know, he's a lovely, big, rangy horse. But they're very well grown, the yearlings. I'm surprised how big they are, and they've got enormous length and scope, haven't they? I mean, you should know, you've ridden so many.
Well, for me, I was in Australia just once, and very briefly, but for you, what are the big differences that you see between Australian racing and American racing? Is there anything glaring?
Yes, the crowds. You've got 1,000 more people, thousands of thousands more people at the track. We don't seem to get the numbers anymore, except on maybe 3 or 4 major days. And of course, you're racing predominantly on dirt. They're the 2 biggest differences, I think, Richard.
And how long are you going to stay with us?
Oh, I'd stay forever. We're going back on Wednesday. I've got my big colt, Vancouver, by Migliore, running on Saturday in the 1,100 metre San Domenico.
Great. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you.
We may have to figure out a way we can get a little wager in on Vancouver next weekend over in Australia, but all joking aside, she seems like a lovely lady who's done it all. I mean, her achievements in the game are incredible.
She is the biggest trainer in Australia and has been for so many years. She's so personable. She's so warm and just such a nice person to talk to. And you would never know that she held that lofty status over there because she was as down-to-earth and good a person you could ever meet.
Got to Saratoga and got on Saratoga Insider on Whitney Day. Is there anything better?
I think we made the trip for her.
120 buyer across the board. Speaking of lofty speed figures, how about today's 88th Whitney? If you're tuning in, you've probably already seen it, whether it was on NBC or the NYRA track feed or on NYRA.com. But let's see what shook out. 9 go to the post, $1.25 million the purse. And here's track announcer Larry Colmus.
They're off in the Whitney. Normandy Invasion on the far outside is sent out, and Liam's Map's got speed from the inside, and Moreno is just to the outside of them, but Liam's Map is going to be the pacemaker. Moreno is running in second position early on, and then Normandy Invasion on the outside of Lee, while Noble Bird rides the rail around that first turn. Wicked Strong is next by another 7 lengths. Tonalist, Honor Code, and VE Day are all separated from the others. Oh, the pace is hot. 22 and 3 was the opening quarter mile as they go on to the backstretch, and Liam's Map is the leader, and Moreno is 3/4 of a length behind, running in second position. Normandy Invasion and Noble Bird are together just behind them. Then the pair of Lee and Wicked Strong, who's down on the inside. It's a long, long way back. 10, 11 lengths back to Tonalist, VE Day, and Honor Code, and the half was 46 seconds flat. And now the field races for the far turn. And Liam's Map has been setting this grueling pace so far. And Moreno is now being asked to go by Cornelio Velasquez. He's a length behind. And then it's Lee. Wicked Strong down on the inside. Normandy Invasion. Noblebird's not going on. Honor Code is still about 12 lengths off the lead. Then the Belmont winner, Tonalist, and the Travers winner, V.E. Day. And they're coming to the top of the stretch. 3/4 in 109 and 3. They're into the stretch. And it's Liam's Map. Oh, he's got a 5-length lead coming to the 8th pole. He's run a huge race. Wicked Strong and Honor Code have a furlong to reel him in. Tonalist is next. They're coming to the final 16th. Liam's Map reaching for the wire. Honor Code running out of time. Liam's Map. Here comes Honor Code. Here's the wire. Honor Code looked like he got him in the last stride. Running down Liam's Map in the Whitney. And then it was Tonalist and Wicked.
A heart-pounding, pulsating 1,100 feet off the quarter pole here at the Old Spa. Liam's Map, what an effort in defeat. But for Honor Code, the Met Mile winner would not be denied his Whitney title.
He was relentless. He moved up into second, and then it looked like Liam's Map was going to hold him off, and he just kept coming, and he needed every inch of this mile and a furlong to get his head down in front. But what a double, a Whitney and a Met Mile. And
when you think about this 4-year-old son of A.P. Indy, he's a Ridgeling after all, but his pedigree, world-class, potential stallion prospect out of this world. Shug McGahee with the Garland there and his team. A great job all around, and for Shug, this was Whitney win number 3. Let's see what he had to say.
Shug, that was one of the greatest horse races I've ever seen. What were you thinking coming to the 8th pole?
Well, I knew he was running. I just didn't know. I thought with the early fractions maybe they would back up a little bit. But then when they kind of went by the 16th pole, I thought we were going to be second. You know, in fact, I kind of misjudged it a little bit, and I looked up at him, oh, bam. You know, to me, Richie, I mean, I feel the same way. It was a spectacular race, a spectacular horse that, you know, people have always held him in high regard, but they wondered, will he run around 2 turns? You know, he's got some quirks about him. Can he overcome them? And I guess all that's been answered today.
Well, is it particularly satisfying to you, considering the week everybody talking about when he didn't want to train, that he got this done?
Yes, very much so. You know, I was getting a little bit tired of the tweets and the questions and this and that. I mean, I know that's all part of it. So I'm a big guy. I can handle it. But you know, I'm glad it's over with. I'm glad we won. So I don't have to worry about that part of it anymore.
Quite a double, the Met Mile, the Whitney. He's firmly on top of this division now.
Well, you'd think so. He's an amazing horse. He has been really since the start. He, you know, went from his first start here when he won going his maiden race in the slop when, you know, just like today, he looked hopelessly beat, you know, and he won. And Met Mile and even in Florida. But, you know, he's really growing into himself, and you know, I need to try to get some of those little quirks out of him, but probably more to make me feel better than anything. But, you know, we're very excited. We're very happy with today, and to be able to win a race like the Whitney is a big feather in Honor Code's hat.
With a horse like this, with his style, you don't need to go visit a cardiologist, do you?
No, my heart's okay. My heart's okay.
Congratulations. Great job.
Thank you, Richie. I appreciate it.
And we're glad Shug's okay, because if you're an Honor Code fan, well, he probably gave you heart palpitations off the far turn run, but he just doesn't want to lose.
No, and you know, I love horses like this. They get your heart pounding, and just as exciting as it could be to get there late like that. It's a throwback to horses like Kelso, and he reminds me of that ilk, a horse that's just relentless. He keeps coming. Don't ever relax for a second, because he will get you.
And wrapping things up with Honor Code, and we'll give Liam's Map a quick pop in a second. Regarding Honor Code, from his pedigree to the owners to Shug to Javier, right down the line, is really, it encapsulates the best of the best regarding American racing.
And that encapsulates what Saratoga is all about. And he's got top sire written all over him. He's got the right team behind him, the right pedigree behind him, and certainly the right physicality, the right body behind him. I'd be surprised if he isn't a top stallion.
And Liam's map answered plenty of questions. A tough loss for Todd Pletcher. He had won this race 3 prior times, had a tough beat with Quality Road and Blame a few years back. I think that was 2010. Today, however, I don't think anybody could have walked away from that race not being bowled over by the effort of Liam's map.
He ran too good to lose. Anybody that tried to run with him, you saw where they finished. He just pulled the heart right out of them and kept running. He just got caught by a serious racehorse.
All right, let's get the 3-year-old fillies on deck next. In fact, a big field, including last year's 2-year-old filly champion Eclipse winner, Take Charge Brandy. It is the Grade 1 Longines Test, a Saratoga Classic at 7 furlongs. And here's Larry once again.
Brandy broke like a rocket. She goes straight out to the front with Bar of Gold away running in second. And then it's Cat Ballou out third. So You Say is fourth early on. Pleasant Tales, Angela Renee, By the Moon on the inside. And then it's Wonder Gal followed by Irish Jasper and Cavorting. And the field speeds up the backstretch with a champion in front. Take Charge Brandy is the leader. And pressing her is New York bred Bar of Gold on the outside through a 23 and 1 opening quarter mile. And then it's So You Say just in behind the leaders. Cat Ballou's down on the inside of By the Moon. Pleasant Tales and Wonder Gal are next. Cavorting's got 7 lengths to make up. Angela Renee and Irish Jasper. It is Take Charge Brandy leading the way on the far turn. Runs a half mile in 46 and 1/5 seconds. And her lead is a half a length. Bar of Gold is there. And on the far outside, it's So You Say. Cat Ballou waits for running room. Fourth on the inside. And they're coming to the top of the stretch. Take Charge Brandy turns for home. And now has lost the lead. The new leader is Bar of Gold. Cat Ballou is on the inside. And then it's By the Moon. On the far outside, Cavorting is coming with a run. And it's a strong run indeed. Here comes Cavorting on the outside of Bar of Gold. Cavorting and Arad Ortiz Jr. have taken the lead. Cavorting wins the test. Bar of Gold was second, then By the Moon and Irish Jasper.
I walked away from today's Grade 1 test, Richie, going, you know what? None of these fillies can handle Cavorting. She's just better than them.
She's just better than him because Bar of Gold kicked for home and it looked like it might be over. And it took another top-class horse to run the leader down. Cavorting's just very, very good. She threw in 2 clunkers, but when she's on, she's really on.
And we've got some top-class trainers winning races today at Saratoga, from Shug to Kieran, who won his first test today.
Kieran, Cavorting really came with some run. Were you a little concerned when she was so far back?
Yeah, I didn't mind, but the fractions bothered me. I thought they were going to go 21 and 4, and when I saw 23 and 2, I said, then I was concerned. But he rode her great, saved ground. She took the dirt well and finished strong.
She had 2 poor races last year, one in the slop in the Frizette going a mile, then one in Florida going a mile also. Do you think she'll be able to stretch out effectively, and why do you think she had those 2 bad efforts?
The race in Kentucky at Belmont was just too much water, bad down on the inside. She didn't run well. In Florida was a bad day for a lot of horses. If you look, it was a funny day, and she didn't handle it well. She can go further for sure.
I mean, she certainly has the look of a horse that can go further, but you got to be real happy with this one.
Yeah, we don't need to go any further with her. There's plenty of races, 7, 8, but this was big, Grade 1. It was huge, and Irad rode a great race.
Congratulations. Great job.
Thank you very much.
3-win Whitney Day for Irad Ortiz and this Bernardini filly in Cavorting for Stone Street Stables, and Kieran McLaughlin a terrific job. And I love seeing Barbara Banke. She's got a lot of money, Jess Jackson's widow, but the fact that the family didn't just disperse everything when he passed away and they're still firmly entrenched in the game, it's really great.
Yeah, she really loves it. You could see just how flush with excitement she was coming down to the winner's circle. She went to kiss Irad, but he had dirt all over him, so she kissed his hand. She was just really excited. And I thought it was really cool, too. Edwin Moses, Olympic champion, gold medalist Edwin Moses, giving out the trophy for the test. We saw him there in the winner's circle. Always cool when we get high-profile class people like that out to the races.
No kidding. Even Paula Duke over at TVG, Eddie Olczyk, who did the NBC telecast. It's great having some high-profile people that love the game and are terrific ambassadors. What about the 2-year-olds on Whitney Day? We can't have a Saturday at the spa without a baby race. We'll check it out after this quick timeout. Yeah, some kids having some fun on the main track. Whoa, swing and a miss there. Nothing like having a good time at Saratoga Racecourse. Family, friends, kids, picnics, you name it, we've got it.
And world-class thoroughbred racing. That's the greatest backdrop for any activity.
All right, what a trifecta in that first segment. Gay Waterhouse, the Whitney with honor code, and Kieran and cavorting in the test. But we move on to the potential future stars of tomorrow. We have got race number 3 amid blue skies and plenty of clouds, white puffy clouds on a gorgeous summer afternoon in early August. It's race 3, a 2-year-old maiden special weight.
They're off. And it's Economic Model on the inside who comes out quickly. Set the Trap on the outside, also with early speed. Tough Hombre rushing up the rail to be a part of the early pace as well. Then Tarpon Bay Road on the far outside. Deserved and Star Hill after that. Then it's back to Smart Moon, who's racing 7 lengths off the lead. At the back of the pack, Wingman. And the inside is Bayou Banker at 22 and 2 opening quarter mile in the field. Races for the far turn. Set the Trap and Toughest Hombre. And Set the Trap is a neck in front. Toughest Hombre ridden along second by 2.5. Economic Model is third. Tarpon Bay Road under a drive fourth on the outside. 3 lengths back, and Star Hill gets going from 5th. And then comes Deserved and Congrats Kid. A half in 45 and 3. And they're into the stretch with Set the Trap to catch. Set the Trap and Javier Castellano come by the 8th pole with a 2-length lead. Economic Model has moved up on the outside and is closing the gap. And so is Star Hill on the far outside. Here's Economic Model to the front. Set the Trap, Star Hill, Economic Model to win it. Set the Trap was second, Star Hill was third, and Deserved was fourth.
Seasoned effort first time out. Chad Brown, 2-year-old by Flatter. Economic Model, very sharp in his debut.
Broke quickly out of the gate, settled in behind horses, took the kickback, took some dirt, came out, and looked like he really found his best stride inside the 16th pole. I thought he really figured it out the last part, and his gallop out makes me believe this is a horse that's going to go on further. We know Chad Brown excels with 2-year-olds on the turf. Well, guess what? He can win with 2-year-olds on the dirt as
And he
well.
won with 1 by Flatter out of a Quiet American Dam. That screams more yardage and perhaps getting even better down the road. Maybe the hopeful has popped up on the radar for Klaravich Stables, enjoying a fine meet. That was win number 4 for Klaravich and Bill Lawrence. What else happened on day number 14? We had $1.4 million in guaranteed multi-race wagers. Fans were out in force. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, and 11 with Larry.
Matt King Cole takes the lead on the inside as they come into the final furlong. It is Matt King Cole in front. Monster B not done yet, coming right back. Monster B's back in front. Matt King Cole, Conquest Windy City on the far outside. But it's Monster B close to home, and Monster B will do it. Over Conquest Windy City, Matt King Cole. Oscar nominated was Reload and Charming Kitten. Under control on the outside, trying to come and get them with 1 furlong to go. Charming Kitten has taken the lead. Reload fights right back. On the outside, under control. Any of these 3 can win. Under control, Reload and Charming Kitten coming down to the line in the lower. And under control, and Erad Ortiz Jr. do it in the end over Charming Kitten. And then it was Reload and Manchurian High. Comes on in second, Take Cover. Third on the far outside, Infinite Wisdom is down toward the rail. Dave Holt is 5th in the final furlong. Still Zenner. Zenner trying to get another 1/8 of a mile with a 2-length lead here. Tale of Fancy on the outside and Infinite Wisdom. Then comes Dave Holt in 4th. Zenner goes every step of the way. Wins it by 1.5 lengths over Infinite Wisdom. And then it was Tale of Fancy and Dave Holt. And then it's Joking, and they're into the stretch with Juba to catch. Juba into the final furlong. Takaho runs at him on the outside. Havana in between horses. Sassicaia down toward the inside. It's Juba and Takaho. Takaho to the front. Juba to the inside. Sassicaia's next. It's going to be Takaho to beat Juba by a neck. And then it was Sassicaia, Havana, and Eric the Red. And down on the inside, and now there's running room for her, and she's charging now into the final 16th, and here comes Tuta Paese rushing up the rail to the inside of Recepta. Recepta and Tuta Paese come into the final furlong together, and on the far outside, a late run from a little bit sassy. It's going to be Recepta. by 3 over Tuta Paesi. A little bit sassy was third, and Kicking Katie was fourth. Every step of the way so far, they're into the stretch. Goldie S. Pony set sail for home. Kitten's Point, White Rose on the far outside. Then Queen's Parade, Danza Cavallo down toward the rail. But it is Goldie S. Pony, and she has run away. Goldie S. Pony will dominate the field in the Fasig-Tipton Weah, and it was Eastern Belle who came from off the pace to be second. And they're into the stretch, and it is Slam Chowder, Best Valued to the outside. Here's Hannah's Appeal. Hannah's Appeal, and down toward the inside, Bella Kateri is coming too. On the far outside, Southern Sunshine. Still Slam Chowder. On the outside, Hannah's Appeal, Bella Kateri. On the outside, Southern Sunshine, it's Slam Chowder and Bella Kateri. And they hit the wire together. Then Southern Sunshine and Majestic Blue.
Joel Rosario up in a nick of time on Bella Katari. Lisa Lewis, Tail of the Cat, New York bred, finishing off a pick six that was hit. Little over $88,000. Are we taking a second look on today's card, guys?
We are. We're going to go back to race number 6, and there was a DQ, and I thought a real good ride on Takaho. Is that the proper way to say?
We've called him Takajo his entire career. It changed to Takaho today with Larry C. upstairs, and why not? 4 for 9, John Terranova at the current meet. He's knocking him dead, and this horse had to survive what was originally, I guess, an inquiry or objection on the wrong horse.
Yeah, it was. The 2-horse Juba did come out and was rightfully disqualified. He drifted out. Actually, kind of shaved one horse, but really bothered the horse under Cornelio Velasquez. And I thought a really good job by Eric Cancel holding his line on Takaho and looking very professional again for an apprentice jockey. He's really got game.
Indeed he does. Let's move on to the rider standings with a third Saturday of this Saratoga Summer Down. Javier Castellano, first ever win in the Whitney Invitational. First ballot Hall of Famer of the year he's eligible.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He's just ticking off every box you need to tick off. And Johnny Velasquez, nice stake win today on Recepta. Kept that 2-win lead, but it's tightening up. Good horse race.
It's been a quiet second full week at Saratoga for Todd Pletcher. Chad Brown picked up another rolling double on the afternoon. Keir McLaughlin walked away with 2 wins as well.
Yeah, a lot of good names on that list. Guys that I would have been very happy to ride for when I was riding.
I bet. I like betting those guys' horses. And then we have one page of claims. In fact, Mick, the first race was very, very popular.
Yeah, and Cease, David Jacobson wins the race, and he takes one home to boot. A 7-way shake to Lieutenant Shawnee O.
All right, how about a Sunday preview? Palace Malice back to the races. Remember him? A year ago, he did not run well in the Whitney. He's got multiple Grade 1s to his credit at a Grade 1 kind of place, Saratoga Racecourse. Best of the best at Saratoga Racecourse, whether you're talking about the action on the racetrack or the lofty roster regarding the lineup of Hall of Fame jocks and just top riders all around, Mig, in the Sunday Legends Day.
Yeah, it's the second one. It was such a success last year. So many great riders. We have a few guys not being able to come back, but a couple of new names we added. $1.9 billion in earnings and over 70,000 wins collectively. That's talent.
It's incredible. Palace Malice, what do we get? Here's his win in the 2013 Belmont Stakes. He is now 5. There is a sense of urgency. What's the story tomorrow?
Well, Palace Malice has got a tall order in my estimation. A big field, 1 1/8 off the bench. He's only had that 1 6-furlong race. Todd Pletcher says he's working good, though. I'm not going to question Todd Pletcher. He knows his horses better than I do.
Me neither. Glad he's back. Hope he runs well. Be nice to see. Moving on to Matru. He's put things together for Chad Brown. He'll come here in career best form.
Yeah, Matru's very talented, but boy, he's got a tough post. Post 12 going 1 1/8 at Saratoga. He's got his work cut out for him. I know he's talented, but can he overcome the posts? I'm going to say no.
Let's move on to Keir McLaughlin. A 2-win Saturday, including the Grade 1 Longines test. Bay of Plenty off the Met Mile really gets the acid test.
Yeah, Bay of Plenty, though, gets the inside. Conversely, the best place to be going 1 1/1 furlong. He's got speed. I think he'll use it. He had no shot in the Met. He was too tough. He got checked early. think he's found a better spot, and you're going to get a decent price off of that 4 Met Mile.
And another test for Mexicoma. Hinted at being an okay 3-year-old. He had some lengthy layoffs, but his return win over Unbridled Blonde downstate in the mud was very, very good.
It was very good, and I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it was the mud. I'm not convinced it was just the mud. I watched this horse train up to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, where he ran very well, only to be beaten 3 3/4 lengths. Now, that was 2 years ago, and he's obviously had his travails since then. But I know this is a talented horse, and if he's sound and can put it all together, we'll see if he can have an impact.
Another Sunday of racing, another analysis from our top-class talent, Andy and Maggie.
Another terrific card on Sunday here at Saratoga. The weather remains sensational. I'm going to take a look at a race earlier in the card, and it's a non-winners of 1, the 4th race, going 7 furlongs in the dirt. And I think a lot of attention will be paid in here to the number 2, Hartford, coming off a 1.5-year layoff for trainer Todd Bletcher. Now, Todd's had a number of these horses just recently come off long layoffs and run very, very well. So it's far from impossible. My problem is not just the layoff. Even the 1 race and 1 victory down at Gulfstream for Hartford just wasn't that good, and I feel he'll be overbet. And while Juan and Bina may be the horse to beat for Sharp Connections, also coming from Florida, the horse I'm interested in is the 7, Fortuitous Path, who broke his maiden in a fast race at Belmont Park, went to Monmouth Park, tried to stretch out, didn't get the best of trips, and wasn't successful. But now he's turning back to what we know he does well, which is sprint. He draws an advantageous outside post position, and more importantly, Fortuitous Path should be a very good price in this race. That's good enough for me. I like the 7, Fortuitous Path, in the 4th race on Sunday.
Here for today's Paddock Insider. A wonderful day at Saratoga, and hopefully tomorrow, Sunday, will be just the same. Now, not getting too creative with my Paddock Insider selection for tonight, but the maiden claimer for $75,000, going 1 1/8, 4 3-year-olds and upward. I'm going to have to land on Shinobi. I've been a bit of a fan of his, and while he hasn't done too much on the track, I think having that race under his belt will help him out. He needed to be woken up, and he needed to get fitter. He drops in class, and he gets a distance where I think he should be truly competitive. I mean, this guy's bred to go at least 1.5 miles, so at least the 1 1/8 should help him out here a bit for trainer Chad Brown. Like I said, not going to get a big price, but have an honorable mention kind of side bet in here with race number 3, a first-time starter on the outside named Aquarius for Brendan Walsh. Might get a good price on her. So that's your kind of Paddock Insider duo for tonight. For now, guys, back to you.
Couple of sharp Sunday plays from a couple of sharp people. 11 races, 1 p.m. post, sort of a marathon-like Whitney weekend. But where do we go from here, Mig? The racing at this renowned place has been so great.
It has just been the greatest racing. I can't remember the excitement level being this consistently high at any Saratoga meet. And look at the people that we're getting to come here. This internationally acclaimed trainer like Gay Waterhouse. I mean, come on. It doesn't get much better than that.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We thank the fans and the horses for making it
Actually,
all
you did
possible.
say it. I just stole it from you.
You sounded pretty good. Have a great time at the Jockey Club Gala tonight. Is that correct?
Yeah, hopefully I won't drop anything on the service track.
All right, good. And I want my Diet Coke and cheeseburger on tomorrow night's show. Honor code. I hope they're giving him his celebratory dinner at the barn. He was terrific with Javier, and we'll see you tomorrow night for a Sunday edition of Saratoga Insider.